Okay guys, last video for today. We're going to be going over a little bit more of economics today. Last week, your job was to define several of these words and to illustrate the following vocabulary terms. So you had to talk about and explain and define and draw pictures for earning, saving, spending, donating, goods, services, and scarcity. And we talked about what each one of those meant. So today we're going to focus only on scarcity. Okay, so let's look a little bit about some examples about that. So if you look down here, you've got scarce, which says not enough to meet demand. And then you've got available. It says enough to meet the demand. So just look at just the pictures as the difference between scarce and available. So you've got only 2 trees here, and then you've got a lot of trees here, okay? Think about just the difference between those. If I said that these trees are scarce and there's a lot of these available, how would you describe the difference between those? Well, you'd probably say there's not as many over here. So that's what you need to be thinking about when you think of the word scarce. It means there's not enough or not as many of something as there really needs to be. So let's think of some examples for that. So think about on Black Friday, okay? Maybe somebody in your family or a friend or someone like that goes shopping every Black Friday, okay? They may not be going to buy everything in the store, but they might be going for this one specific thing that came out. So let's say that there was a new video game that came out and everybody was so pumped for it. They've been waiting all year for this. It finally came out and now it's going to be on such a good sale at Black Friday, okay? So everybody decides, I'm going to go wait in line at Best Buy or Target or Walmart and I'm going to get this game. Well, here's the problem. There's only so many of those games in stock. So maybe by the time that some of those people get there, there's not going to be any games left, okay? So that would mean that those games were scarce. Too many people wanted them, and there weren't enough of that item to meet the demand of the people that wanted them, okay? Now, let's say that there was this really old game out instead, and nobody's really played that game for several years. It's old, it's boring now, everybody's already played it, and they're done with it. So there's a whole shelf full of those games. There's plenty of those available, but people don't want them, okay? So that would be like the difference here. There's a whole bunch of those boring video games that you don't really play anymore. Nobody's going to buy them. So there's too many of those. No one wants them. The good video games that everybody wants, not enough of them. They're scarce. Okay, so think about how that relates to life right now with all of this COVID stuff going on. I'm sure some of you have probably been to the store, or maybe parents or grandparents have gone to the store to get some things, and they've probably come home and told you that there's not enough of certain things that they want. And it seems to be like random stuff. I mean, sure, there's toilet paper, things like that, but then there would be some things like Jordan and I went to the store and we were going to make Mexican food, and there was no rice. Everybody decided they were going to buy rice, so rice was a scarcity at that time. So one of your boxes for today, box 1, says give examples of items that are scarce right now and tell why you think there is a shortage of these items right now. So I want you to think of 5 things, 5, just like in the last one, 5 things that are scarce right now and why you think they're scarce. Okay, so I already gave you 1. Actually, I gave you 2. Rice and toilet paper would be 2 of them. But if you don't know those, talk to your parents or your grandparents or whoever it is that you're staying with right now and ask them what has been scarce when they've gone to the store. There's a shortage of a lot of items right now. So really think about that and tell me why you think there's not enough of those items right now. Okay, your next box is to complete the assignment in the packet that goes with scarcity, and that's this page. It's titled Scarce or Not Scarce. So your directions say, after you read each scenario, decide if it is scarce or not scarce, and write your answer on the line that follows. So those are your only options, scarce or not scarce. It says, remember, if something is scarce, there isn't much of it around. So I'm going to do the first several of these with you just to make sure you really understand, and then you can do the last few on your own and then send me a picture. So let's look. So number 1 says, after a dry summer, farmers did not harvest their usual amount of corn. So usually they get plenty of rain, they're able to get their harvest, they take their corn to the farmers markets, they can sell a bunch of it. But it was a dry summer and they weren't able to harvest as much as usual. So do you think that that's going to be scarce or not scarce? Do they have enough or not enough? Right, it's scarce. There's not enough of it to go around. So number 1 would be scarce. Number 2 says, there is enough sand at the beach for everyone to build a sandcastle. So happy faces all the way around. Everybody gets to build a sandcastle because there's so much sand at the beach. Does that sound scarce or not scarce? It's not scarce. There is plenty of sand there for everybody. Okay, number 3, it says the leading producer of the flu vaccine only makes half as many doses. So the company that makes the medicine that goes in the flu vaccine, they only make half as many as they usually do. Well, what do you think is going to happen once flu season rolls around? Are they going to be scarce or not scarce? It's going to be scarce. There's going to be too many people that need flu shots, and there's only half as many as what we need. Number 4 says Caitlin must decide how to spend the 1 hour she has before soccer practice. She needs to eat dinner, do math homework, and practice her violin, but she only has 1 hour. So is her time scarce or not scarce? Her time is scarce. She does not have enough time to be spending doing all these things. She needs some more time, so it is scarce. The last one that I'm going to do with you today is each plant in the forest gets the sun it needs to complete photosynthesis. Okay, so if every tree and every plant in the forest gets all the sun it needs to be able to go through its plant cycle, is that scarce or not scarce? Are they running low on sun, or do they have enough? They have enough, so it is not scarce. So you've got 5 more to do on your own. So hopefully that helped you understand those. If not, go through them with a parent. That's completely fine. These are real world scenarios. It's really good for discussion. So get some help if you need it. If you need me, feel free to ask. And I hope you guys have some fun with this one. Talk to you soon.